I had done something to Bubba that definitely got left on the cutting room floor. They got to protect their legends. They got to make them look good. They don't want to show me Big Dog and Bubba.
What's up, everyone? Shak here, and you know who this is. I'm just gonna say it. The top draw of WWE LFG, even with an injury. He's Bubba Ray Dudley's best friend, with a name that might not fly in the PG era. Sexy BJ Ray. How's it going, bro?
Yes, sir. You already know we out here, baby. Thank you for having me, gangster. Yeah, man, I'm just chilling and killing the game per usual, just like you. I see you killing the game, doing your thing, so I'm excited for you to have me, man.
Appreciate it, man. Before we get started, we'd had a long preamble before this. I'm really happy we did because it was just enough time for the caffeine to start hitting me. I know I'm gonna need it trying to keep up pace with you. Before we get to LFG, pro wrestling, MMA, are people still actually using Snapchat, or is it just me who's fallen off the wagon?
You might be a little old, bro. How old are you? Sorry to
29,
put you on
turning
blast
30.
like
No,
that.
that's all right. That's all good, bro.
No,
It is
no,
what it is. I just
no.
forget.
Yeah.
Turning 30 in September.
No, I would say Snapchat is still fairly used, at least for me. I mean, that's where I talk to all the baddies at. So,
I'll keep it safe. You know,
you gotta
You can't screenshot DMs anymore. You have the vanish mode if you're
really,
trying to stay incognito. I'm
dude,
expanding your horizon. A
bro,
whole
you're
new
expanding my
swath of
horizon.
baddies for you.
Yeah, I had to move discreet. You got to move discreet. So
Uh,
Snapchat's probably one of the best ways to do that. But now that I know, vanish mode, gotta check that out on IG.
Didn't hear from me. Shout out to my wife.
Yes, sir.
Um, yo, speaking of the caffeine, how do you keep this energy so up, seemingly all the time?
Don't play it. No, sorry. Yeah, I like to crash out. Like some people, bro. Like a lot of people around the PC, they call me the crash out of NXT. And dude, I don't know, bro. Like my entire life, I've just always had a lot of energy. I shout out to moms. My mom's got that crackhead energy, and she passed it down to me. It's funny, like I have three older brothers, and everybody here has asked me, like, are your older brothers just like you? And I'm like, nothing like me. Nothing like me. I mean, they got some traits, but I definitely, I don't know. Some people look at it as a curse. I look at it as a blessing. Yeah, I come across as highly annoying at some points in time, but hey, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and that's how it is.
I was just watching episode 4 of WWE LFG this morning, and I gotta say, I laughed a little when I hear Bubba Ray Dudley say that he's going to turn his faction into the Dudleys. I will say, I did like the vignette, and I feel like the talent all did a good job. But what's going through your mind when you see Bubba is basically the only coach who takes the faction and turns it into his faction?
Dude, I think what's going through my mind is exactly what's going through everybody else's mind. I mean, the guy is just completely egocentric, narcissistical, and focused on himself. I mean, that was out of all the factions, I think everybody could agree that was the most boring and basically used up one. I mean, nobody wants to watch the Dudleys again. It was terrible in the moment. And at the end of the day, I was just like, is this all he's got in his repertoire? The guy lacks that much creativeness. And what's crazy is, it's supposed to come down to us. It's supposed to come down to the future greats to put together what we have in mind. But it seems that it always finds a way back to whatever Bubba wants or what Bubba has in mind. So I don't know. I thought it was the least creative out of all the factions, and I think that yeah, it was just not it. Didn't cut it.
You know, I think the reason so many people are taking to you is because we're here watching LFG, and what we think we're getting is a behind the scenes look at superstars on the ground level sort of discovering themselves and working through the process. But I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out if I'm not to say that you're inauthentic, but whether BJ's playing to the camera, if this is a bit of BJ the character, or if this is just BJ the guy. And even when you're around other talent, now I'm having trouble telling if the talent are actually annoyed with you or if they're also playing into it as well. I am curious though, for you, how do you toe the line between good television but also being professional in a setting where, this is still a sort of educational process?
Yeah, 100%. So I think that's a great question. I think we're in a unique era right, of this business, of the wrestling business, especially within the WWE. You see guys like Triple H, Shawn wanting to pull back the curtain of kayfabe a little bit. For me, dude, like I always think about it as an entertainment perspective. Obviously, when the camera's around, you got to keep it cranked. You got to keep it cranked. But what I would say for me is, I am just myself. A lot of people in the past have come into this business. They develop characters, they develop skits, whatever it is. There's nothing authentic about this, brother. Everything that you guys have seen on the show is 100% valid. There's nothing that was steered any kind of way. I do not. What's funny is like I I was about to say I do not like Bubba. I actually kind of like Bubba because I just think like he's just funny, bro. Like people like him. I'm one of those guys, dude, where I just like enjoy. I could go sit somewhere like at a coffee shop and just people watch because
Mhm.
people just entertain me. When I'm around Bubba, bro, like he's just so entertaining because I know so many people like him, on their high horse, narcissistical, and just all about them, bad tempers. But it's just entertaining. Do I respect him? No, that's what I was gonna say. I do not respect Bubba Ray Dudley, but is he funny? I can't even lie, bro. He's mad funny for real. And no, I just try to be myself. Um, you know, I would say it goes both ways. Excuse me. I'm sorry, choked a little bit there. I would say it goes both ways. Um, for me, I like to classify myself as the annoying little brother of NXT. There's definitely a lot of people I genuinely piss off, and there's definitely a lot of people that love me. And it's kind of always been that way, to be honest with you, because even when I was in high school, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but reality is reality. I was the most popular kid in high school. And half the people loved me, half the people hated me. And fast forward to college, it's the same way. You say who was the most well-known name college athlete on campus at Duke University? Everybody would say sexy BJ Ray. Half the people loved me, half the people hated me. Now, to the people that hated me, I understand why they hate me. It's because I garner a lot of attention, and we live in a world where people get jealous, and they wish that they could be me. But that's on them. I think the people that love me, they don't have egos. They're kind of like me. They just enjoy the entertainment aspect. They see what I'm doing and they just enjoy the process with me. You know what I'm saying?
Since you sort of mentioned the respect or lack thereof towards Bubba Ray, and this is, I feel like, a very contested topic online when these clips come out with you two, has Bubba Ray earned the right to treat people the way he does?
Hell no, bro. Hell no. And actually, to speak on that, that's how this whole thing started
Hmm.
because nobody earns any right to treat anybody how Bubba has treated me and fellow other future greats. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. I don't care if you're freaking, I don't know, who's the most popular people in the entire world right now. Drake, music artist, whatever it is. If you're at the pinnacle of whatever you do, or you're popular, or you have money, fame, whatever, you don't earn any right to treat people like shit. And what's funny is like everybody always views me as this bad guy. And I know you've heard the story time and time again. Sometimes it sounds cliche, but I really am Mr. Misunderstood because if you look at the facts, right? Here's the facts. Throughout this whole series and throughout the whole time I've been in NXT, not once have I ever started a fight. You look at the very beginning of episode one up until the point of the handshake. Was there any problems? No, because nobody tried to, press me or nobody tried to, disrespect me. But I'm definitely not one of those guys that's afraid of a fight and stepping up the bullies. And so I think that it doesn't matter whether you're Triple H, it doesn't matter whether you're Shawn Michaels, it doesn't matter whether you're Roman Reigns, it doesn't matter whether you're Bubba Ray Dudley. You have no right to treat anybody any less than you. Yeah, it's cool you accomplish what you accomplish in this business, but teach me, human to human, respect to respect, mano a mano, how you accomplish what you accomplish as that character in this industry. And just treat me like a normal human being. Don't walk around here like you're actually Bubba Ray Dudley and you could just treat people like shit. Because that's not going to slide. And it may been able to slide back in the day. You hear all the old stories of the locker room back in the
Hmm.
day and all that good stuff. Well, it's not going to slide, especially when there's a guy like me around in the locker room. There's guys like me now around in NXT. So, yeah.
So there's obviously sort of the standout moment from episode 4 where you're chatting with Eric Bischoff, and the scene is so brief and like immediately based on just, a lot of things get left on the cutting room floor. And so in
Yeah.
those few seconds that we have to look, what's going through my mind with very little information is like, Bubba shouldn't be putting his hands on BJ, but why is BJ up there distracting Eric when he's supposed to be assessing a match? Can you give me just a little bit more information on like what's actually happening in real time when you go to talk to Eric and why you went to talk to Eric when you did?
Yeah, so I'm what they would say a team player, right? And I'm a little bit of a businessman. So I just so happened to be in the room at that time, and I saw Eric up there, and Bubba had asked, he wanted my help with the team in the previous episode that
Mm-hmm.
you saw. So I saw Eric up there, and I decided to go up there and chat him up a little bit, kind of tell him who's who, what's going on. And Bubba didn't like that. And I was like, first of all, I didn't understand why he was mad. I mean, isn't that where the legends belong? I was just sitting somewhere the legends belong. But yeah, Bubba just got big mad for real, dude. He got super mad, and all of a sudden, I was just like, yeah, bro, whatever. Kind of, give him one of these. And I go to turn around, and bro just decides to attack me and shove me out of nowhere. And low key, I was just dying. I was like, bro, there's no in my head. I can't lie to you, bro. Like I'm always kind of like a troll in the back of my mind, and I find things hella
I can
funny.
tell.
And so, so when it was all happening, I was low key kind of like, bro, this is actually mad funny. But yeah, it was very interesting. A lot of stuff got left on the cutting room floor. You know, I had done something to Bubba that definitely got left on the cutting room floor. They got to protect their legends. They got to make them look good. They don't want to show me Big Dog and Bubba. And I don't care to say that. I'll say whatever I want to say, because the facts are the facts. And sometimes I get mad about these, well, there's not this competition, but when they film things or they make a reality TV
Yeah.
show out of something, because a lot of things do get left on the cutting room floor. And a lot of my best moments got left on the cutting room floor. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, too, like going into this thing, my head coach Matt Bloom, I love the guy, and I have so much loyalty to the guy. And Shawn Michaels, who writes my paychecks, they pull me aside and they know I have a way of pissing people off. And so they they talked to me beforehand and they're like, hey, BJ, like, if any of these legends decide to, get in your face or even put a hand on you or do anything to you, they're like, please just do us a favor and don't hurt these guys because we know you could actually really hurt them. We know you're a dangerous guy. So just please, for the sake of us and this competition, don't hurt any of the legends. So if the guy that's writing your paychecks tells you that and your head coach tells you that, that's always in the back of my mind in situations like that.
Well, and for anyone who wants to fact check your credentials, you were just telling me, and we're going to get to it a bit later, trained with UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland, former title challengers Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa. Would you be willing to elaborate on the big dogging? You don't have to if you feel like you can't. I understand.
What are you talking about with the
Well, you said, yeah,
UFC
you said
guys?
you big dog Bubba. They left it on the cutting room floor.
Oh yeah, well I shoved Bubba, I shoved the shit out of him, and he went flying backwards into the chairs.
On the
But they're
bench
not.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the bench there. Yeah,
yeah.
but they're not going to show that.
Uh,
They're not going to show that.
uh,
But yeah, like I said, we're in an industry of tough guys, and a lot of these tough guys, I think everybody knows. You'll hear the thing: the loudest guy in the room is usually the softest guy in the room. That's the circumstance for Bubba, not me. I probably am the loudest guy in the room, and I am one of the toughest guys in the room. If I wanted to absolutely annihilate Bubba on spot, I could have, and I think everybody knows I could have. But obviously, out of respect for my coaches, I didn't. When I say I didn't, I held back. Obviously, I didn't drop him on his head or starch him on sight, but I did give him a real good shove that they didn't show, and had that dude stumbling like Bambi on ice. So,
how did
you know,
HBK and Albert feel about that after asking you not to? Well, you didn't nuke the guy, so there's that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep those conversations between me and my head coach and the guy
I
that writes my
respect it.
paychecks private. But nah, here's the thing. Like I said, we're in an industry of tough guys, and sure, Bubba is a tough guy, but he's an old tough guy that's balding and is probably like 50 years old. I'm sure back in his heyday, it would have been a little bit more of a fight. But the reality is, the last thing to leave a man is his strength. Last thing to leave a man is his strength. But the first thing to leave a man is his durability and his durability and his gas tank. And at the end of the day, Bubba, you may have been a tough guy, but I'm a young, healthy 25-year-old kid with an iron chin and a gas tank that don't stop, brother. So I would drag that guy into deep waters, dude, that he has never seen before. And yeah, it wouldn't be much of a fight.
I'm 4 years older than you. Why you got me here thinking about like the gray hairs that are starting to pop in with the Snapchat thing?
Hey, listen. I'm still in my prime, bro. I'm still in my mid
Got you.
twenties. You a little bit on the older end.
It happens, bro. Let me tell you,
It happens.
we've been shopping for new mattresses, new pillows, anything to make the neck pain go away. So I do very much feel every bit that 29. I'm afraid of what 39 and 49 are going to look like. Um, last thing on not it's not really about Bubba. We talked enough about Bubba. But I do think it's interesting, and I see it feeding into a lot of the conversations that happen on social when these clips come out. How would you describe the current training environment in the WWE relative to the culture and the mindset that Bubba brings in? Because I feel like maybe he's leaning a little too heavily into that old school mentality that I don't think is as present in the modern day WWE.
Yeah, I feel like the culture has completely changed, right? And I think that's for a couple reasons. I think it's changed for the better just because it needed to change for the better. But I also think in the day of age we live in, with, everybody having cameras and everybody, stepping up and reporting things. I mean, you hear a lot of these old stories in any industry or any business. There's always a lot of junk, especially in those days. But the culture right now in the WWE is amazing, absolutely amazing. And the group of people we got down here, the group, I mean, Shawn is just he's killing the game. Coach Matt Bloom's killing the game. All these coaches that we got down here are killing the game, and the whole entire culture in this business is just amazing. I think Bubba, yeah, I think he's toxic for this business. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know what he's doing here as a legend. I think he thinks he's like this old school hardo guy that wants to bring back this old school mentality. But the reality is, bro, that's yesterday's newspaper, and it's good. It's good to have that in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that to training, bring that in training in the ring and intensity and stuff like that. But you can't be walking around treating people like shit, testing the youngings, because, one day you're going to test the wrong youngin like me, and I ain't going to back down. Just like you guys saw the bit you did see. You saw one of my little pushes at the very end. And I said, "What's up, bro? What's up? Come down these steps. Come down these steps." And what was funny is he didn't come down the steps, and I didn't show the part where I waved him back. I put my arm out. I said, "Yeah, go back to your seat." And he, just like the good little old fat boy he is, he went back to his seat. I said, "Yeah, right. Get back in your seat, fat boy." And he didn't come down the steps because Bubba knew exactly what would happen if he did come down those steps. And at that point, maybe Shawn and Bloom's words would have gone out the window, and I would have had to handle business, and they would have been okay with it. Because at the end of the day, I think we all know as men, there's a certain point where violence comes. And I only showed him a little bit when I shoved the shit out of him and had him, like Bambi on ice. And that was just a push. So, if he would have came down those steps, yeah, it wouldn't have been too hot for him.
Um, I'm glad that this specific interview isn't super directly tied into CBS, because I'm gonna get fired for this next question. There's some different connotations to the name Sexy BJ. How do you feel about Matt Bloom's past as Prince Albert?
Bro, Matt Bloom, let me tell you something. Whatever it is, man, Prince Albert, everything that he's done, Matt Bloom is truly one of the coolest and funniest cats I've ever met, man. You couldn't ask for a better head coach, not only a head coach, but there's a friend and somebody that's just a book of knowledge in the business and the industry. Matt Bloom is one of those guys who literally has the littlest ego of all time. And so that's why he's produced just some of the funniest things, and he just understands the business. And I love it. I love everything he's done. Honestly, I love everything he's done. I think that he's brilliant. He's brilliant when it comes to this game. He understands what garners attention. And I think that's why guys like Matt Bloom like a kid like me, because they understand at the end of the day, I'm going to garner attention, which is going to lead to money revenue.
Hardest question you'll be asked, maybe in your life: Fortnite, build or no build?
No build. Easy.
Are you
back in my heyday, build for sure. When I was a sweat, when I was in high school and I had nothing else to do but go to practice, come home and sweat, all day, every day. But dude, I can't keep up with these kids these days, bro. You got these little gremlins, you got these Groms, bro. They're just sweaty, bro. They're so sweaty, and I'm like, oh my god, you can't even play with them anymore. Because I don't get a hop on as much as I used to, maybe once, twice a week, and it's like, how can you compete with these little kids, bro? They're playing every night, 5 hours, a night.
BJ, if today it's no build, tomorrow it's dentures and canes and lower back pain. So just
What
know your
about you?
time is
What about
coming.
you? Build or no build?
No build. I'm more of an Apex
Yeah.
Legends guy.
Okay.
I'm willing to make the hop over. I'm getting a little bored. We should
Yeah.
we should do an interview while playing Fortnite. I think that's the move.
Bro, I would love that. We
Okay,
need to do
bet.
that. That would be
Bet.
so sick.
I'm supposed to do one with Brian Ortega sometime too. We should just do like a whole crossover. Just
Dude,
do a
let's
whole
do it
thing going.
together. Let's do it
Okay.
together. Let's hop
Okay.
in there together. We'll get a
Okay.
squad. We'll get a
Okay,
squad. Me,
bet.
you, Brian, and we'll fill in one more.
Okay, done, done. We can find someone. I'm sure. It's a lot of.
Yes.
It
Or we
won't be
can run a
Randy
trio.
Orton because he plays Elden. He plays Elden Ring.
We can run a
What do you
trio.
think? Okay, I like it. All right, last question I'll grill you on, and then we'll move on. I saw on Reddit today actually that there was once upon a time where the subheader over your Twitter account was Liv Morgan's mugshot. How did that go over with WWE management?
It didn't go over well, bro.
I understand. How long did that last?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I mean, I didn't back down. I kept it up. I mean, here's the reality. Here's what I'll say about that whole incident. Listen, at the end of the day, I may be an extremist, but my mindset is entertain at all costs and garner attention at all costs. And when I first came into the business, I'm very green. We use the term green. I don't know if they use that in
Yep.
different businesses, but I'm very green in this industry. So when I came in and Next Gen rolled out, and I had people in creative tell me, okay, now it's time to let loose on social media. I had no guidance or jurisdiction. And I had no like understanding of like the do's and the don'ts and what's good and what's bad. So I was like, all right, full go mode. And maybe I pressed a little too much on the gas pedal with that one. So I definitely heard some stuff about that one and definitely had to have some talks. So but you can't lie, it was mad fun. I can't lie, to this day I'll never play. Like it was mad funny. It was mad funny.
Liv Morgan, I love you.
No, I love Liv
Besties.
Morgan too, bro. I think we
Besties.
all
I'm not
I think we
gonna.
all love Liv Morgan, bro.
BJ's not gonna get me in trouble on this one.
How could you not love Liv Morgan, bro? And that's what, dude.
The sweetest,
The
the
funny thing
sweetest.
is like it wasn't even meant like as a diss. Like it was a troll, but
Mhm.
not a bad troll. You ever see like the memes where it'll be like a hot chick in her mugshot, like go viral, and they'll caption it just something. It's like a common meme that you'll see where there's like a
Mhm.
super hot smoking chick, and she's got a mugshot, and like people will quote it, and they'll be like, "I can change her" or something like that. That's what it was intended to be. It was actually
Gotcha.
chivalry's not dead, dude. I'm such a gentleman. It was actually meant as one of the greatest compliments of all time. I was like, dang. I was like, this chick's hot even in a mugshot when she's got no makeup on, which is very rare in this day of age, bro. So I was, so it was actually meant as a compliment. But unfortunately, people, dude, they're sensitive these days and they take everything personally. So it
For
is what
those
it is.
sensitive people, I'm laughing at BJ right now, not with BJ. So don't come for your boy's head. I'm just here chilling, doing my job.
Yes,
But I
sir.
had that. I asked the question, so I had that coming.
Oh, 100%.
Um, and this is something you see with a lot of the talent on LFG, which is they're not all lifelong pro wrestling fans. That's not a prerequisite, in my opinion, to be a
Yeah.
successful pro wrestler. I don't think Kurt Angle was a big pro wrestling fan, and he ended up being one of the best of all time in the ring and on the mic. I did see you talk to Malcolm Muscle about, when he asked like who you'd like to get in the ring with, and you sort of talked more about getting on the road and having fun. But I am curious, now that you're here and now that you're getting your reps in, do you love the actual trade of pro wrestling? Because I don't think it's cut out for people who don't love the grind and the work and the pain. It's not an easy job.
No, 100%. I came from a background where I didn't watch this at all and I didn't understand it at all. When I went out to my tryout, I came straight from a school field trip. I had to go to this marine bio lab in order to get my credit so I could graduate. And so I
Hmm.
came literally straight from a privately owned Duke Island. And I didn't read the itinerary. I didn't know what the word promo even meant. But ever since I've got here, I've absolutely fallen in love with this business, what it is, the industry, the entertainment aspect of it, the athletic aspect about it. it's really one of those industries that's so unique, and it's so big because it is the only industry of itself. You got everything encompassed in one. I'm a professional actor, athlete, combat artist. Like, I got all the worlds I love the most, all encompassed in one. And it's definitely, you could learn to love an industry like this. And I've learned to love this industry really fast.
As we wrap up here, I do want to talk a little bit about sort of the times you've mixed it up with UFC fighters. Very quickly, I guess, for
Yes.
some background, can you tell me just some of the big names that you've trained with in the past and how it is you ended up linking with them?
Oh yeah, 100%. So I'll kind of start early on and then I'll just leap forward to modern day, some of the big guys I trained with. So originally, the whole reason I got into amateur wrestling is I wanted to fight. The first fight I ever watched, I was sitting on a living room floor at my uncle's river house in Parker, Arizona. And it was Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. And I said, Dad, this is what I want to do. So my dad was like, okay, cool. So he took me to this local MMA gym, and the head coach there was Paul Herrera. He's the guy who fought Gary Goodridge and got a
Yep.
bunch of elbows to the face. And so he told my pops, he's like, hey, your son's a little young. I was 5 years old at the time. He said, your son's a little young to be getting hit and stuff like that, but let's start him off in wrestling because, as it's seen and proven in MMA, wrestlers make great fighters. So I started out in wrestling, and I started wrestling there because they had a kids club and phenomenal kids club. And it was cool because all these top guys, it was called Empire Training Center. All these top guys would be coming in and training MMA while I was training as a little kid wrestling on the mat. I mean, you got guys like Tank Abbott, Rampage, Chuck Liddell, Tito,
Whoa.
Kimbo. All these guys pop it in, and I'm watching these guys train, in the boxing ring and on the MMA mats while I'm doing my thing wrestling. And so it's just really cool to be in that environment from a young age. So fast forward, kept doing my thing, kept chasing wrestling really hard with the plan to fight after college. And then so when I went into college and I'd come home during the summers, it just so happened during COVID, I had nowhere to train. And so I went to this local jiu-jitsu gym. And this guy's name is Professor Stephen Martinez. It's called Peerless Jiu-Jitsu in Corona, California. And phenomenal place, phenomenal. So many badasses trained there, and I went with him. And I had a little to none jiu-jitsu experience at the time, but just my wrestling accolades. If
Mhm.
you're a good wrestler and you kind of know, your body awareness and stuff like that, it's really hard for a jiu-jitsu guy to roll around with you. So I went toe to toe with him, and he was like, "Bro," he was like, "Are you cool if I bring in some UFC guys that I know to train with you? Because we're looking for upper weight wrestlers." I said, "Of course." So next thing you know, Sean Strickland rolls in, a couple other guys. I forget one of the guys' names, but a big name. Sam Alvey was there, and so I roll around with these guys, rolling around with Sean. And a funny story about Sean, I'll give you this one. This one's gonna be good because not a lot of people know the story. But this is a sexy BJ Ray story at its finest.
Dude, I just want to stop and say, I don't think there's anyone who I could further be apart with on every component of life than Sean Strickland, who I get along with so well. You just can't take
Yes.
the man seriously. You just can't take the
No,
man
you
seriously.
can't. Sean, he does what he does, but man, that's what makes him him, and that's why he's so popular. And if you meet him, he's a good person, man. Like, and he treats everybody,
He's been very
he
nice
treats
to me.
everybody cool. Yeah, he's always, been very nice to me as well. But the first time I ever rolled with him, here comes this guy. I don't know who he is, right? I didn't know who Sean was at the time. So I'm training, and all of a sudden, here comes Sean Strickland walking in these little cheetah print booty shorts, and he's walking in the gym all cocky, and people kind of pretend to me. They're like, yeah, like Sean's coming in, he's kind of cocky or whatever, but I had no clue who the guy is. So he walks in and he sees me because he hasn't seen my face before, and he says, oh, he says, are you a wrestler? Because he kind of tell, thick neck, cauliflower ears. I was like, yeah. And he was like, I can't wait to beat you up. So I was like, oh, I was like, okay. I said, game on, homeboy, game on. So I said, I got you first roll, first live, go. And he was like, all right, cool. So all of a sudden we start, and Sean does his thing. He kind of likes to bait people, whatever. Puts his hands up, and boom, just hit him with his big double leg. And dude, Sean's so tough. It was a tough go. All the guys we went were super tough goes, but I got him pretty good on one of them. And at the end, we were jogging around the circle, and I was like, "Hey, yo, Sean, how's your flight?" And he was like, no, I'm from here. And I was like, no, how's your flight? He's like, no, yeah, I'm from here. Like, I live here in Corona. I was like, no, how was your flight when I sent you across the room? And bro, he was so mad. Everyone's like, oh. And after that, bro, me and Sean became best friends because Sean dishes it out, but he likes guys that give it
That's
back
what I'm
too.
saying. This is why
He
we get
likes
along.
He likes guys that play into it and give it back. So no, Sean's the OG for real. And then from there, I met Marvin, started training with Marvin all the time. Very close friend of mine. And then I linked up with, actually, it was super random. I got a text from a guy saying, "Hey, I'm Paulo Costa's trainer, and we're looking for an upper weight wrestler." So for a summer before I went back to Duke, I was training with him a lot. And dude, Paulo's probably one of the funniest guys I have ever met in my entire life, dude. I remember when he walked in, the first thing I said, "Hey, Paulo." I said, I got to get some of that secret juice, bro. I got to get some of that
Mhm.
secret juice. So, yeah, so I've trained with a lot of these guys, man. A lot of top fighters, guys like Czech Congo and all that good stuff. So I really appreciate that part of my life, that part of my background. And it's just been a blast how everything comes together. And I'm kind of just been able to live a life of doing what I love, you know?
So, last question, because we got to wrap here. We're at a fork in the road. Why do we go WWE and not pursue the MMA route further?
Yeah. So, you know what's
Either way,
crazy,
I'd be
man?
interviewing you. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's crazy, man, is I know I would have killed it in the MMA game. I look at a lot of these competitions. A lot of the guys I train with, you don't really talk about what happens in the training room, but unless it's just fun, unless it's just fun little situations like that with me and Sean. But no, I mean, I've gone toe to toe with a lot of the top guys, and I'm talking guys that are fighting for, titles, UFC titles, Bellator titles. And so I definitely was leaning heavy in that route, but I'm also a pretty faith-bound guy. And when this opportunity came up and the way it presented itself, I kind of just felt a calling in this direction. And which is weird because my whole life I was like, no, I'm going to fight. That's what I'm going to do after college. But I just was like, everybody, one of my close friends, he is well, not any longer because season just ended, but he's starting quarterback for Notre Dame, Riley Leonard, this year in the finals of the college playoffs, and he went to Duke as well. And he's actually the guy that put me on because WWE was on campus, and he was like, "BJ, you got to meet these guys." He was like, as soon as they were talking to the football team about the WWE, I was like, just one guy for this job. And so when I went to the tryout, wasn't going to go. My brother, he's older and he's got, his wife and his kid and everything. And I was, yeah, I'm not going to go. I don't really want to do this. I'm going to fight. After I got invited to try, he's like, bro, please go for me. Please just trust your older brother. So I went out there, and then after, dude, it just totally changed my mind. And I think what really changed my mind is when they walked us out in front of 80,000 fans, sold out at the Rams Stadium and at WrestleMania. And John Cena hit that walkout, and I'm watching him put his hand up, and you got 80,000 people at the same time going, "You can't see me," and I was just like, "Bro, this is sick." And I was like, with my combat background, with my athletic capability, but also with my capability of entertaining and what I like to do, I was like, dude, this is an industry I would love. And so I just felt like at the right place at the right time, and this is the right calling for me in my life right now.
I love it, man. You don't meet a ton of adults who get into pro wrestling late, so it's like for me, it's something I've been watching since 4. So it always makes me happy when an adult can sort of articulate the moment that they caught the bug. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's a very hard thing to describe until you feel it. Uh,
100%.
BJ, man, this has been so nice. Thank you for doing this. I want to let you have the last word. I'm sure you're no stranger to doing it. So very quickly for me, guys, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up. Give us your prediction. Which coach is going to win WWE LFG? I don't even want to know about your favorite contestants because I think we all have the answer.
We
BJ, if
all
there's
got it.
anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours, my man.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, gangster, thank you for having me. This has been an absolute blast. To all the people out there, we're just getting started, man. This is the BJ gang movement. We're going to the top. Everybody already knows who the future of the business is. It's sitting right in front of them right here, right now, talking. And yeah, tune into everything I do. You can find me on IG, X, pretty much every social media platform at Sexy BJ Ray. Go ahead and give your boy a follow, and just get along for the ride because I'm doing this for the people. I tell everybody it's funny, you're IWC Internet Wrestling Community, and I play on this whole thing being the IWC's People's Champion, but that's really what I am. I am out here clip farming these legends. I am putting my career on the line, stepping on boundaries that most people wouldn't step on. And I'm doing it for you guys at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, I just want to entertain and I want people to have fun and I want people to let loose. So stay tuned. This is just the very beginning of something special, just the very beginning. And I truly will, and I believe, overstep every accomplishment every thing that has been done in this entire industry, and people are gonna soon find out. So